Okay, so this is recording now. We're going to talk about direct objects and indirect objects. When you have a transitive verb, it is an action verb, okay? A transitive verb is an action verb that is followed by a word or words that answer the question, what or whom? Transitive verb is an action verb that is followed by word or words that answers the question, what or whom. These words are called the direct objects. I actually like to call my direct object line my who or what line. Okay? And I'll ask that question, who or what. And every time I ask that question, who or what, receives the action, I'm going to plug in that little direct object line. You see it? Okay. So, for example, you have a sentence diagrammed with the baseline, yes. Then you have the subject predicate line. Then you have your direct object line. Okay. Notice that your direct object line does not transverse the baseline. It does not cut through the baseline. Do you understand? Any questions there? Okay. Who or what are we talking about with I like picnics? I goes into the subject. Like goes into the predicate. I like what? Picnics. Do you see why I say I call that my who or what line? I like what? Picnics. Okay. We good there? We understand that? So we're going to be looking for direct objects. Notice that this diagramming is built upon all of the diagramming we have done thus far. Okay? The basic simple sentence, simple predicate, where you have just one word or two words, is now being built into three or more words. Do you understand? Questions on that? Okay. So now let's take a look at number one. Everyone brought food. What do I need to do first?
Make the baseline.
The baseline. Very good. What do I need to do next? Subject. I could put everyone on first, right? Everyone. Okay. What about everyone? Brought goes in the predicate side. Yes. Brought on the baseline. Direct object line. The what, who, or what line. What did they bring? Food. There it is. Okay? That's how you diagram that basic direct object activity or sentence, okay? Let's look at 5 while it's up. Ants were bothering us. What do I need to do first? Baseline. What do I do next? Gonna go ahead and put ants, and then I can put subject predicate, right? Subject predicate line. What about it? We're bothering in my predicate, right? And I do it together because were is a helping verb, right? We're bothering. Okay, now I need to stretch that baseline out here. We're bothering who or what? Means I need to put my direct object line in there, right? My who or what line? Us. Okay? If you look at my board in the classroom, up above all of those 4 posters over here on the left-hand side, it says linking and helping verbs. Linking verbs. Is, am, are, was, were. There are other linking verbs, but these are the most common. If they do not have another verb that follows them, they are a linking verb. If they have another verb like were bothering, now it's a helping verb. Does that make sense? Okay? Other verbs like do, did, done, have, had, should, would, could, and other verbs like that are generally going to be your helping verbs. You got it? Okay. So let's go ahead and scroll down really quick. All right. So the only other exercises I think that you might get stuck on is number 6 and 7, where they work together. And let's take a look at 7 because 6 will be a little bit easier. Number 7 has these two words in there. What are they? Both and. What are those called? Starts with a C. Conjunctions. Both of them are conjunctions. So that should tell you immediately we need to have what type of frame in this? What's that called? It's a shape. Triangle. The conjunction triangle, meaning I need to have forks, don't I? Okay. So we have the fork going on, and it says both Max and I hit homers. What side is the fork going to face? Is it going to be the subject or the predicate? The subject side. So I have both. Here's my triangle. And then I have my baseline. And I'm going to take care of my triangle. So here, what are we talking about? Max. Where do I put both? In the triangle. Both Max and, where do I put and? Under the triangle. And. Both Max and I goes on the bottom, right? Then I need my subject predicate line, correct? What were we doing? We hit. We hit what? I need my direct object line, don't I? Because I asked what? Homers. Do you see it? Okay. Your number 6 is going to work much the same way. You just don't have the two conjunctions, okay? You following? Good? Number 4 and number 8 are going to work they're going to work similar. Did anyone bring napkins? What do I need first? Baseline. Then I need to figure out what I'm talking about. Who am I talking about? Anyone, right? What about anyone? Now I need my subject predicate line, don't I?
Yeah.
What about anyone? Did bring. Capitalize the D. Did bring. Did bring what? So I need the direct object line. Napkins. Yes? That's how number 8 will work as well. Okay? 8 works the same way. Are there any questions on this page? Do you feel like I gave you enough information that you can work the rest of the problems? Yes? Now let's go on to the next page. And let me connect my batteries, my cords, because I'm going to hit pause on this recording. Okay, so this next page has the compound direct object. This is when you have more than one thing that receives the action from the subject. Okay? So we have, in the example, we have Herbert roasted both corn and potatoes. If you look at it, you've got the baseline is right here. Okay? You have your subject, Herbert. Okay? What did he do? He roasted, so there's your subject predicate line. Here's your verb. Okay? What did he roast? So I have my direct object line, right, Rocky? Yes? Okay, he roasted corn and potatoes, or just corn? He roasted both corn and potatoes, right? So we have 2 of them, which means we need the conjunction triangle, right? Okay? So we've got to have that conjunction triangle come after the direct object line. You got to have your there you go, the forks. So then you have your conjunctions both and, right? Those are your conjunctions. And then what did he roast? Corn, potatoes, those are your direct objects. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. So you're going to see a lot of forks coming in and out. Anytime you have a conjunction in a sentence, you're going to have a fork going in to help separate those, okay? Questions on that so far? Let's take a look at the first one. Exercises, sorry. I'm looking to see which we'll need to do 6. Should bring. We'll need to look at number 3. Okay. So number 1, 3, and 6 are going to be the main ones I'm really concerned with for you guys to learn something about here. Let's see. Number 1, what do I need first? This is parks have tables and benches.
Baseline.
Baseline.
Subject. Wait.
Yes, subject is what? Parks. Subject predicate line. Very good. Have.
Direct object line.
Yes, you need the direct object line.
Triangle.
Yep, you need the triangle. Yes.
The dotted line.
The dotted line.
The parallel line.
And then the four parallel lines. Yes. You're not feeling good, are you? Yes. Yes. Okay, what goes on the parallel lines?
Tables and particulars.
Tables
And particulars.
and benches, right? Where does and go? In the triangle, right? There you go. Okay. Let's take a look at number 2 as well. What do I need first? You use either grills or campfires. What do I need first? Baseline. Then what? What's the subject?
We.
Look again. You.
One number 2.
Yep. You. Then I need the subject predicate line. What do you do? What do you do? Use. That's in the predicate. You use what?
Either.
So I need the direct object. And then I need to do
Triangle.
my triangle. Make it big enough because I have to write either in there. So inside here, I'm going to write either. Either grills or campfires. You got it? You got it? Okay, that's pretty simple, yes? Number 3, did you drink juice or cola? What do I need first?
Your
Baseline.
baseline.
Okay, what's my subject? You. Why is it not did?
Oh, because it's asking you.
It's asking a question, isn't it? It's inverted, so you got to find the subject. What did you do? So I've got to have that subject predicate line. Not just drink, but did drink. Did drink what? So I need that subject predicate, right? Or not subject predicate, the direct object line. Now I need my conjunction triangle because I have the word or in there, right?
Yeah.
Dot, 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 dot. Or juice, cola. Okay? I think the only other one you're going to have a problem with is 6. Let's take a look at it. Danielle and Gina had prepared salads and rolls. What are we talking about? Danielle and Gina, if I have two girls, what do I need? The parallel lines, right? So we're going to have a fork coming in from the subject side, right? Yeah. All right, so Danielle and Gina, parallel line, triangle, down, down, over, had prepared what? Okay, let's go ahead and fill this in as up to now. So we had, what are we talking about? Danielle. And Gina. Okay. I need the subject predicate line, yes?
Yes.
Okay, what do they do?
Had prepared salad.
Had prepared, very good. Had prepared what?
Salad.
Salad. Anything else that they prepared?
No.
Look at the sentence.
Oh, and rolls.
Yeah. And salad rolls. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yes? I think you guys have the rest of this one, yes? We have 4 more that you need to do on your own. Let's turn the page to the next. We're going to talk about indirect objects. The indirect object answers the questions to whom or to what, or the other question for whom or for what, after the action verb. Almost always a sentence with an indirect object will also have a direct object. If you have an indirect object, you're not going to have a sentence 99.9% of the time. Your sentence will have the direct object. Do you understand? Okay. And let's see. The indirect object appears between the verb and the direct object. To diagram the sentence with the indirect object, begin by diagramming the subject and the verb and the direct object. Then draw a line that slants down from the baseline under the verb and bends and extends horizontally to the right. You place the indirect object on the horizontal segment of the line, as in this example. You must put it on a straight line. It cannot be on a slanted line. Do you understand? All nouns and pronouns go on the base on a straight line. Okay? Unless it's showing ownership, and then they're acting as adverbs or adjectives. I mean. All right. So let's take a look at the example. We have Ranger O'Brien gives campers directions. We have the baseline. We have the subject, Ranger O'Brien. We have the subject predicate line, yes. Then what does he do? He gives what? Your direct object line. Directions. To whom does he give it? To campers. Campers is the indirect object. Do you see it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take a look at the first sentence. Mr. Norris assigned us jobs. What do I need first?
The baseline.
The baseline. Who are we talking about? Mr. Norris. What does Mr. Norris do? So we need the subject predicate line. He assigned.
Then the direct object.
And then the direct object line, what did he assign? Jobs. To whom did he assign the jobs? Us. So now we're going to do an angle underneath the verb and a straight horizontal line underneath connected to the angle, and us goes on that indirect object line. Do you see it? Okay. And I think all of the sentences pretty much follows this pattern. I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of trouble with this one. Unless you're asleep. Right? Okay. Let's go on to the next page. This is the last one. Take a look at these compound verbs with direct and indirect objects. These are getting a little bit complicated, are they not? Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. And let's talk about the sentence. Campers examined and compared maps. So when you come across a compound verb, all of the verbs share a single direct object. You must connect the forks at the end together to make like a diamond shape or whatever that shape is, and then go on with the baseline, okay? For example, here's the baseline for campers. Campers did what? They examined and compared, come back together, compared what? Maps. And they have your subject predicate and your direct object, yes? Okay. Then you fill in the blanks. Here, what are we talking about? Campers, what did they do? They examined and compared. Compared what? Maps. Do you see it? Okay. The next one's going to be a little bit different because they drew maps and made copies. Okay? Steve drew maps and he made copies. He didn't draw copies, did he?
He drew maps and made copies.
He drew maps and made copies. And he didn't make maps, did he?
He made us now.
Right? He drew maps and made copies, right? For us. So here you have the baseline, then you branch off because you have your compound conjunction triangle. Then you have your fork, and you're going to talk about, what are we talking about? Steve. What did he do? He drew and made. Here's your conjunction. Okay? What did he draw? Maps. That's your direct object. What? Here's your base. Here's your direct object line. What did he make? Copies. There's another direct object line. Direct object. For whom did he make that? Us. So now you have your indirect object. Any questions on that? You're going to have a couple of these in there, okay? Let's do the first one. Rangers led hikes and gave hikers advice. First thing that we need to do, how many subjects? One. We have rangers, right? So we need rangers. What did rangers do? They led and gave. So I got to erase that. So then I need my conjunction triangle, don't I? And I need the forks, yes? They led and gave. What did they lead? Hikes to the direct object at top. Hikes. And gave what? Advice to whom now? Hikers. Goes underneath the verb. Hikers. You see it? Simple? Simple? Fairly simple, yes?
Yes.
Campers collected and buried leftovers. Let's take a look at that one. What goes first? How many subjects do we have? One. What did they do? Campers. Let's put campers in. Okay, so now I need to do my subject predicate line. And I know that they collected and buried, right? So we need to do the 2 collected and buried. Did they collect leftovers?
No.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Did they bury leftovers? So we've got to close that triangle, don't we? And we got to put the direct object line right there at the end of the triangle and write leftovers. Is that right? Yep. Because leftovers answers who or what they collected and buried, right? You following?
Yes.
Pretty simple? Yes, good. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to do the rest of the diagram and pay attention to who or what is being talked about, what are they doing, who or what receives the action, okay? To whom, of whom, for what, to what, okay? Questions? You feel pretty good about it?
No.
Okay. I want you to try it. I want you to try it, and then you bring it back to me when you try it, okay? What's going to happen tomorrow? What are we doing tomorrow?
Work day.
We're going to finish this, and then what else are we doing? The one pager. What do you need to bring with you to do the one pager? Your book. Should you rely on should you rely on tomorrow only to do your one pager? No, it must be done. Do you understand? Any questions? Okay. Yeah, you're going to work on it tomorrow, and we'll finish it up on Friday. Plus, we have the one pager. Okay? Are we good? Do you feel like you learned something today?
Yes.
I learned a lot.
You learned a lot?
How much
Good.
time do we have?
You've got 4 minutes. You can work on like 2 or 3 of these. Knock them out. And let me check them as you go. Okay?
You know what the name is.